There's a stack of ivory pages on the cedar by the bed, all perfumed with the lilacs from a summer long since dead. I write your name in cursive like the violins in bloom. Pedal steel is sighing softly, filling up the room. Brush drums whisper lullabies or horror in blue. I spell another midnight with 1,000 words for you. The lamp is small and faithful, the shadows never judge. I pour a cup of silence and the coffee doesn't budge. I tell the truth in whispers so the neighbors never hear about the way your sweater kept December close and near. The background choir hums and o's like angels on a wire. The upright bass moves slowly like a train that's losing fire. I date the page forever, stamp it with a tender kiss. Address it to the corner where I used to find your bliss. A string section of memories begins its gentle sweep. I mail it to a mailbox in a town that's fallen asleep. The pen keeps making promises my tongue could never make. Violins forgive each comma, every tremble, every break. Lonely letters sealed in moonlight, never meant to meet your eyes. They float like little paper boats on country Politan skies. If love's a postman running late through years of snow and rain, I'll keep on writing, dear my heart, and never mind the pain. I write about the jukebox and the waltz we never learned, about the pie we split at noon, the bridges we burned. Near the trumpet soft as mercy, colors in the space, while clarinet and harp lines thread a satin lace. I write about your laughter and that unreturned call, how roses on the mantle turn their faces to the wall. I underline the moments with a flourish made of strings, and swear I hear your footsteps in the hush that evening brings. I write until the morning when the sparrows start to preach about the simple sermons only kitchen sunlight teaches. The choir in the distance holds a long forgiving note, and every sentence trembles like a button on your coat. I sign it with my full name, then with one you used to say, fold the page like Sunday linen, put politely away. The mailbox is my heart now, letters gather, never leave, an orchestra of paper for a love that I believe. someday when the rhythm of the city runs behind, the postman time will spill a sack, and you will chance to find a single line that knows you, with a coffee stain like dawn, and hear the strings crescendo as the years turn back on. Lonely letters sealed in moonlight, no address and no reply, but every bar of violins keeps teaching me to try. If no one ever reads them, let the steel and strings agree. I wrote them, love, to prove that you still live inside of me. The lamp goes out so gently that the shadows never know, and 50 little envelopes keep glowing soft below. There's a nickel on the counter and a memory in my hand, a row of glassy buttons like a rhinestone marching band. The violins are waiting in their polished wooden gowns, and pedal steel is polishing the edges of our town. I press the code you love, be 17, and close my eyes. The orchestra stands up inside the jukebox, warm and wise. A whispered choir of ooze becomes the honey of the night, and there we are, slow dancing in the mirror of the light.
Lived on coffee cups, your laughter on my coat. The clarinet remembers every breath you wouldn't quote. A brush snare keeps the heartbeat of a ballroom playing small, while upright bass is swaying like a shadow on the wall.
The song we wore on Fridays is the only dress that fits, and when the while the morning comes in, the room politely sits. Oh, neon writes our names upon the bar like wedding lace, and every note is velvet falling softly on your face.
The jukebox hums forgiveness for the lovers running late, and lets a sweet refrain hold open mercy's little gate.
Play our song on the jukebox, let the strings pour like wine, let the steel glissando promise that you're somehow still mine. Though you're gone, the country Puritan angels still believe that love can spin forever if the music
trumpet makes a halo for a habit I can't quit. The bartender turns quieter to let the chorus sit. I'm not the sort to beg a clock, but midnight's moving slow, as if it also misses how you smiled before you'd go.
The choir lifts a second verse, and I lift up my head, pretending that your red shoes haven't left this floor for dead. I tip the glass to violins that tie my heart in bows, and watch the door stay honest to the place it shouldn't close.
The last refrain, the final chord, a hush you can't pretend, a gentle needle sighing like a sentence at its end.
But habit is a carousel. I feed it one more coin and ask the band of ghosts inside to let our love rejoin. If heaven has a jukebox with the titles trimmed in gold, I hope a little tag beside says two fools growing old. The strings return precisely to the moment we first met, and that is how a nickel buys a lifetime of regret.
Outside the rain applauds the band in little silver hands, while somewhere in the harbor of the past our record stands.
Play our song on the jukebox till the daylights fold their wings. Let the steel and strings remind me of the grace that leaving brings. If you're gone, the melody can still pull up a chair, and I will dance politely with the ghost of what we were. The button light turns amber, I press it once again, a countrypolitan prayer inside a walnut cabinet. There's a lace curtain ocean in a frame of painted wood. It breaks on little rooftops in a neighborhood that's good. She stands with hands of porcelain around a china cup, and violins like doves in spring keep lifting her back up. The radio says weather fair, the church bell counts to 2. The brush snare tucks its napkin in, the strings unfold the view. She traces with her fingertip the route the letters took from somewhere on a dusty map into her mother's book.
A muted trumpet murmurs like a gentleman in gray, while clarinet and draw the board set mourning in a sway. She turns the little calendar to kiss another square, and presses dried magnolias between a hopeful prayer.
The upright bass walks softly down the parlor's polished floor, as if it knew the soldier's boots would cross that room once more. The choir in the wallpaper hums a rescuing refrain, and pedal steel draws sunlight through a soldier's window pane.
She whispers to the kettle, sing me something brave and warm, and lets the boilers promise they will shelter her from the storm.
I'm waiting at the window with the strings behind my smile, with a ribbon round his letters and a dream that takes a while. If distance is an orchestra and time a wooden bow, then love will play him home to me in measures soft and slow.
A telegram is thunder in a coat of navy blue, but not today, dear angels, let the morning wander through. She dusts the little picture where his uniform is neat, and puts 2 cups of coffee out like footsteps on a street.
The gentle timpani rolls back like storm clouds in retreat. The choir holds a single that makes the silence sweet. She opens up the window just to set the curtains free, and hears the milkman whistling in the same old major key. By evening, porch lights blossom on the branches of the town, and violins write amber on the leaves that settle down. A taxi cab is music in a suit of yellow rain. A soldier's hat is tremolo across a window pane.
She runs and finds him ordinary, breathing shy and tall,
And every instrument on earth says welcome home in full. The choir floods the staircase and the bass forgets to creep, while pedal steel sighs darling in a glissando so deep.
If heaven keeps a ledger for the kisses war has owed, let angels bring the balance due and set it down in gold.
She's waiting at the window where she doesn't wait alone. A symphony of patience now becomes a life of home. If someday he must march again, she'll tie the same blue bow, and love will play him home once more in measures soft and slow. A kettle sings a lullaby, the strings tuck in the night, and 2 small shadows cross the floor and settle in the light. There's a dress that keeps a secret in its sequins, little stars. A mirror that won't argue with the stories lipsticks tell at bars. Violins arrange her hair with combs of tender sound, while pedal steel applies a gloss where laughter won't be found. She pins a rhinestone bravery right where her heartbeat hides, and lets her rose rehearse a blush that honest tears denied. A brush snare shakes the glitter to a very steady time, and clarinet draws curtains on the scratch of yesterday's crime. She learned to hold a cocktail like a valentine in glass, to toast the girls in photographs who made it through the past. The xylophone says darling in a hush of silver rain, and trumpet bows politely when her smile mislays its name. The choir hums forgiveness as she powders over blues. An upright bass walks gently through the living room of news. A string quartet of kindness trims the corners of her sighs, and roses nod like witnesses that never testify. If glamour is a blanket for a winter made of ache, then let the violets cover what the morning couldn't take. Rhinestones and roses for the cracks behind her grin, a countrypolitan halo for the places she's been. If beauty is a bandage, let the strings be shining white, and hold her while she dances through another midnight light. She sways along the parquet like a promise keeping warm, a ballroom made of kindness in a dress against the storm. She laughs at all the right jokes and remembers who to thank, while pedal steel writes cursive on the velvet of the band. But in the powder room she meets a photograph of them, and touches up a memory with a stranger's fountain pen. The violins go tender, the xylophone turns low, the choir in her ribcage teaches courage how to grow. She steps back in the radiance with roses at her wrist. The clarinet escorts her like a chaperone of bliss. A trumpet lifts the corners of an almost honest smile. An upright bass reminds her she can rest a little while. If anyone is listening, may the harp record this line: a woman learned to sparkle till the sorrow fell behind, and should the dawn unbutton what the nighttime carefully sewed, let strings return with gentleness to help her shoulder load. Someday she'll wear daisies where the rhinestones used to be, and smile without rehearsal in a simpler major key. Rhinestones and roses keep her brave until it's real, an orchestra of blessings for a heart that wants to heal. When laughter needs no pearls and courage needs no veil, the pedal steel will sing her name. single rose on a windowsill, a quiet room of light, and sequins sleep like tiny stars that made it through the night. I found us in a shoebox where the cedar learned our names, behind a rubber ribbon and in a stack of ticket stubs and trains. Violins blew dust away with little fans of gold, and pedal steel made sunlight of a story growing old. Your dress was summer cotton, my tie an awkward knot. The clarinet drew laughter through a smile I almost forgot. A brush snare kept our heartbeat like a dance held just in place, and down a rule lit halos round the freckles on your face.
The edges curl like secrets that the kitchen light forgives. A trumpet mutes the sorrow till a softer color leaves. The upright bass walks careful through an album made of years, and choir roos are quilts to tuck the corners of my tears.
I touch the faded margin where your thumb once pressed the frame, and every little scratch becomes a star that spells your name. The harp runs up the staircase of the moments that we missed, while violas pour a cocoa that the winter can't resist.
A photograph is music that the silence hums to keep,
a melody of stillness that rehearses while we sleep. This faded photograph still keeps me warm, like violins and sweaters and a steel that's soft and warm. If love can live in paper, let the choir make it true. I hold a little heaven every time I look at you. I see the little fairground and the lemonade we shared, the Ferris wheel reflecting in the bobby pins you wore. A clarinet remembers how you kissed me by the gate, and Dan Rafo makes lanterns of the moments we create. I hear your Sunday laughter spilling out the parlor door, and strings conduct the teapot to a gentle, grateful pour. A muted trumpet blesses what the photograph can't say, that even now your absence keeps my loneliness at bay.
the picture keeps its promise when the evening goes to frost,
And a bright bass leans kindly so I don't feel quite so lost. I set you on the mantle where the sunlight likes to play, and every golden flake of dust is choreography of day. If someday I should falter, if the winter grows unkind, I'll open up this shoebox and let strings recall my mind.
for photographs are fireplace and paper is the flame.
I warm my hands on yesterday shadows that never stray. Find a faded photograph still keeps me warm. A countrypolitan blizzard turned to velvet by your form. If ink can hold forever and a smile can hold a room, then I will live inside this frame where spring is always June. I slip you back to cedar, safely folded, gently borne, and feel the orchestra of memory keep my winter warm.
The station smelled of iron and a bitter cup of rain. A trumpet cried a lullaby, a cello moaned the same. You held your suitcase nervous, like a hymn you couldn't sing. And violins kept rising like they knew what night would bring. The clock was slow and heavy, like a preacher counting sins, while pedals steel bent sorrow into silver violin. The choir hummed a warning as the platform shook its knees. An upright bass kept pacing like a sheriff with no peace.
I tried to tell a story with a hand upon your sleeve, but words are coins of copper when a heart can't make believe.
But Hoggerful like raindrops tapped a rhythm on your hair, and Clarence remembered how your laughter filled the air. The whistle cut the silence like a bride who changed her mind, and muted trumpets echoed all the vows we left behind. The train arrived in velvet, dripping steam and polished light, and violas raised the curtain on the ending of our night.
The rails are long confessions that the daylight fears to keep. They take the sins of lovers while the righteous are asleep.
Midnight train, carry her far, past the choir's ache, past the steel guitar. Every mile is another wire. When love climbs aboard the train, goodbye. I watched your dress grow smaller as the engines pulled away, and harp strings turned the silence into gospel meant to stay. The shadows on the platform bowed their heads like mourners true, and brush drums laid a heartbeat soft enough to stand for two. The jukebox at the depot sighed a song we used to own, but every note turned hollow when the brass was played alone. The photograph inside my coat grew warmer than my skin, as if it knew the station where the heartbreak would begin.
Now every midnight whispers with a whistle low and kind, and every string arrangement paints your absence in my mind.
The clarinet is lonely, but it doesn't play
play in vain. For somewhere in the distance rides the memory of that train. I pour a cup of coffee, let the radio play on, and violins remind me that the midnight's never gone. The train may steal your presence, but it cannot steal the past. And every song that Countrypolitan hands me says you're last. If angels ride on rail cars with the tickets heaven sold, then maybe they will seat us side by side when we are old. Midnight train, carry her home, back to the choir, back where she belongs. Every tear is a lullaby, but I'll still wait for the train goodbye. The platform keeps on listening, though it never learns my name. And violins keep weeping for the midnight train. The parlor clock is ticking like a harp without a hand. The roses on the table are too tired to understand. I walk across the hallway where the floorboards used to creak, and hear your laughter echo in a choir soft and meek. The violins are curtains that remember how you smiled. The petals steal a whisper of a heart that once ran wild. The clarinet repeats you in a gentle minor key, and every muted trumpet tells the joke you told to me.
I keep the kitchen tidy, though the cups don't multiply. The roof roll remembers where your humming used to lie.
The upright bass is lonely, pacing corridors at night, while violas sew together all the holes the years can't hide. I see your shadow dancing on the banister of oak, and brush drums tap politely like the rhythm of a joke. The fire is just a painting, but the embers play along, and choir voices murmur like the ghosts of every song.
The past is an orchestra rehearsing without end, conducted by a memory that never learned to bend.
Echoes of laughter still fill these walls, like violins on portraits, like trumpets in halls. Though silence is the tenant that owns the lease of after, I pay my rent with echoes of laughter. I dust your favorite records, let the stylus fall in place, and strings conduct your presence like a photograph's embrace. The clarinet recalls the way you hummed a simple tune, and all the four makes prisms of the dust caught in the room. I pour a glass of burgundy and leave a chair for you, while pedal steel turns mercy into something brave and true. The choir in the corner sings an amen soft and low, and muted trumpet answers with a gentle afterglow.
Now when the neighbors pass me, they remark how quiet I seem, but they don't hear the symphony that colors every dream. For every echo carries both the sorrow and the grace, and laughter lives forever in the hallways of this place. If love's a note of music, then your melody remains a countrypolitan comfort in a house that keeps your name.
And if heaven has acoustics, may the angels let me hear the echoes of your laughter every hour of every year. Fine notes of laughter don't ever fade. Stay in these rooms where our love was made. If silence is certain and sorrow is after, then let me live in echoes of laughter.
A violin still trembles where your shadow used to be,
and echoes keep on laughing for the both of me. Morning dressed the window with a pale and tender hand, while violins unfolded like the edges of the land. I turned and found your absence on a pillow painted white, but the perfume whispered loudly through the silence of the night. The pedal steel grew softer like a sigh it couldn't keep, and clarinet grew patient as the choir fell asleep. The brush ne'er tapped a lullaby as if to soothe my grief, while thou a fall like raindrops brought the gentlest relief.
the perfume on the pillow was a letter never read, a paragraph of roses for the words you never said. The upright bass kept pacing like a father in the hall, and muted trumpet mumbled like a prayer against the wall.
The violas tied the curtains in a bow of second chance, while harp strings traced the pattern of a once-upon romance. I lay my cheek upon the place where fragrance still could stay, and let the choir whisper she'll return another day. But time is not a tailor, and it never mends the seams. It leaves the scent of longing in the pocket of your dreams. Perfume on the pillow where love used to lie, an orchestra of memory in the night's reply. If absence is a silence, let the fragrance sing of every vow and every
ring. The clarinet recalls the way your laughter filled the sheets, and violins embroider what the morning still repeats. The robber fool turns sunrise into echoes made of lace, while pedal steel keeps sighing for the comfort of your face.
I hold the pillow closer like a photograph of air, and let the choir witness that my heart still keeps you there. For fragrance is a hymn book that the angels can't erase, and perfume on a pillow is the gospel of your grace.
Evening comes with candles and a record on the stand. The upright bass walks slowly like a tired, hired hand. I close my eyes and wonder if you feel the same perfume, or if it's only haunting in this solitary room.
But strings forgive the question, and the trumpet bows its head, while that oval assures me that our story isn't dead. So let the scent remind me, though the world forgets too fast, that perfume on a pillow is a love that's built to last. If heaven keeps your fragrance in a bottle made of glass, then angels to remember how your breath could make time pass. Perfume on the pillow, sweet and near, telling me your absence still leaves you here. If silence is forever and longing never stills, I'll breathe you in till memory fills. And when the strings fall silent and the night forgets to weep, perfume on the pillow will sing me back to sleep. He packed a case with hope inside, a guitar and a tie, a small town boy with eyes of steel, with neon in the sky. The violins were calling like the avenues of fame, while pedal steel reminded him to never lose his name.
The upright bass was steady like the footsteps of his youth. The choir hummed ambition dressed politely up as truth. The rariphone made promise like the lamplight on a street, and trumpet gave him courage for the strangers he would meet.
The city shone like rhinestones on a jacket made for kings, but Viola's whispered gently not to trade away his wings. The clarinet sang softly of the church bells back at home, while strings kept painting skylines out of echoes all alone. He played a show in midnight bars where no one knew his name, and brush drums kept his heartbeat like a candle in the rain. The jukebox mocked his country with a countrypolitan smile, but still he sang the ballads that would carry him a mile. Dreams are golden lanterns, but they're heavy when they fall. The city is an orchestra that doesn't know us all. Big city dreams, glitter and light, chasing horizons through Nashville night. From a farmhouse prayer to a billboard's gleam, he traded his heart for a big city dream. The strings recall the hayfields, the pedals steal the barn, the roof on the fireflies in August on the farm. But clarinet kept tempting with a Broadway dressed in lace, and muted trumpet kissed him with a softer kind of grace. He learned the neon gospel, but he never learned to rest. He sang of home in every hall, a hymn inside his chest. And though the city paid him in applause and silver stars, he missed the simple supper and the kitchen's gentle jars.
So when the choir sang his name on vinyl bold and true, he bowed his head and whispered of the fields that shaped his youth. Big city dreams had glitter, but they never could replace the photograph of small town love, the smile on her face.
He filled the grand arenas, but he never filled the ache, till violins turned gentle and the dawn began to break. Dreams are heavy treasures if they cost your roots and home, but angels write in neon too and guide you where you roam. Big city dreams, bright as they seem, can't outshine the porch light of a simpler dream. From a country prayer to a rhinestone gleam, a boy stayed himself through a big city dream. And when the steel sighs softly in a countrypolitan tone, big city dreams still lead him home. The floor was waxed in midnight, the chandeliers were low, the violins were dripping like a honeyed radio. The trumpet sipped its bourbon while the clarinet took flight, and pedal steel was sighing like a secret made of light. She wore a gown of satin, high a suit of faded gray, but Viola's painted halos where the neon chose to play. The lure of her like raindrops kissed the corners of the room, and brush drums kept the waltzing in a country-politan tune. We danced like old confessions on a balcony of stars, and upright bass kept steady like a prayer in mason jars. The choir hummed forgiveness as our shadows learned to bend, while harp strings braided promises we wished would never end. The neon ballroom shimmered with a tender kind of grace as muted trumpet traced the outline of a long forgotten face. She whispered, "Hold me closer," as the strings began to rise, and love became the ballroom in the music of her eyes. The past was just a record with a crack, but still it played, and every note forgave us for the choices we had made. Neon ballroom waltz under lights so blue, every step a prayer that I take with you. If the night is a promise that the dawn can't halt, then we'll live forever in a neon ballroom waltz. Clarinet was sweeter than a kiss behind the veil, and violins confessed what our whispers couldn't tell. The pedal steel kept sighing like a hymn of velvet sin, while Vitaphore made promises the dawn could not rescind. We spun until the chandeliers grew blurry with our breath, till trumpet crowned our waltzing with a coronet of death. And even when the band stood down and silence claimed the hall, the neon kept on glowing like a gospel overall. Now years have brushed their silence on the corners of our hair, but when the jukebox waltzes, we are always standing there. The neon ballroom lives inside the memory of a song, where violins keep dancing though the dancers may be gone. So play the steel, let strings recall the ballroom what time could never do. For every waltz is timeless when it spins with all its might, and every dancer timeless in a countrypolitan night. If heaven has a ballroom, may its neon glow the same, so we can waltz forever under one eternal flame. Neon ballroom waltz, with your hand in mine, every step a memory, every note divine. Though the years may fade and the clock may halt, we're forever waltzing in a neon ballroom waltz. The strings fade down, the neon hums, the silence softly falls, but in my heart the ballroom still calls. It was a summer drive in '59, your hand in mine, the station kind. The violins were bright as June, pedals steel beneath the moon. The DJ laughed, the record turned, and in that song our hearts had burned. Now every time the dial plays clear, it's like the past is pulling near.
Cool minute recalls the night, bitter trumpet dims the light.
Final four taps memory's key,
Unlocks a kiss you left with me.
the choir hums a gentle glow, the upright bass walks soft and slow, and when the chorus swells again, it feels like I'm still back where then. The years may fade the photograph,
But music laughs a softer laugh.
when the radio remembers, it plays our song, and I'm right there with you all along.
Strings and steel in a silver flame, every station whispers your name.
When the radio remembers, I can't let go. The melody knows what the years don't know. At the kitchen table, dawn is still, coffee steam against the sill. The record hums from far away, a jukebox ghost in modern day. I close my eyes, the violins, they guide me back to where it begins. The radio doesn't see my tears, it only knows the love of years.
Every dial a time machine, neon nights and fields of green. The DJ's voice an old friend's call, the song that lifts, the song that falls.
And though you're gone, your love still plays through polished countrypolitan ways. The station fades, but one thing's true, every broadcast carries you. If heaven has its frequency, I'll tune in where you wait for me. When the radio remembers, we dance once more on polished floors of time before.
Strings and steel in a silver flame, every chorus sings your name.
When the radio remembers, I'm never alone, for every song still leads me The church bells echo down the lane, while violins recall the pain. A mother kneels in satin blue, her whispered prayer is breaking through. The pedal steel is soft and kind, her voice a hymn, her heart resigned. The trumpet bends with care as she calls her boy in prayer. The clarinet is sorrow's friend, the choir hums a hope to send, the ralliphone like raindrops light falling down her tears in night. The bass walks steady, tried and true, a melody of love so new. She lights a candle, folds her hands, and trusts in what she understands. The miles between them stretch so wide, but prayers can cross the great divide. Sunday morning call, angels know her plea. She's praying for her runaway Lord, bring him back to me. The organ swells, the strings confess, a mother's love is limitless. Sunday morning call. whispered name, a tear that falls. The boy is lost in city light. The jukebox sings, the bar is bright, but somewhere deep his spirit hears the strings of home across the years. The trumpet plays a warning tone, the pedal steel says go back home, and in his heart a candle glows, the Sunday prayer his mama knows. He walks the morning streets alone, but feels the hymn that calls him home. And when the church bells ring again, her arms will open free of pain. The violins rejoice in song, the choir knows he won't stay gone, for love is faith and faith is true, her Sunday call will carry through. If prayers can fly on angel's wing, then every son can hear them sing. Sunday morning call never fades away, it brings the lost ones home someday. The organ swells, the strings confess, a mother's love is limitless. Sunday morning call, heaven hears it all, the prayer of love will never counter glass was cold as steel, the violins refused to heal. I slid the ring across the stand, a promise sold by trembling hand.
The pawnman weighed the vow we made, the choir sighed, the trumpet swayed, pedal steel bent low in grief, as I traded love for brief relief.
The clarinet drew out my tears, the raudohole replayed the years. The bass kept time, the drums kept slow, while strings recalled what I let go.
A band of gold, a band of lies, the neon mocked my foolish eyes, and in that shop of broken dreams,
the ring was less than what it seemed.
a ring is just a circle when the heart forgets to stay,
A melody of promises the pawnman takes away. Pawn ring blues, the song of goodbye. The violins weep, the pedal steel cries. I sold our forever for the price of one night. Pawn ring blues in the neon light. I walked outside with cash in hand, a sinner in a brass bandstand. The trumpet moaned, the harp turned pale. The choir whispered, love can fail. I drank the coins till morning came. The jukebox played our vows and shame, but nothing bought could heal the truth. The ring was gone, so was our youth. Now years have passed, the shop is gone. The city sings a different song, but every time the strings recall, I see that ring, I hear your call.
And though the pawnman's glass is bare, I know that love still lingers there. A melody of gold we knew, still haunting with a ring so true.
If angels keep a ledger for the promises we break,
then pawn rings weigh the heaviest of every hard mistake. Pawn ring blues, the song of goodbye. The violins weep, the pedal steel cries. I sold our forever for the price of one night. Pawn ring blues in the neon light.
the glass was smooth, the ice was thin. The violins began their hymn. The pedals steel like smoke uncurled. A trumpet told of broken world.
Each sip a memory warm and deep,
Each drop a promise I couldn't keep.
the choir hummed like midnight rain, and whiskey whispered out her name.
The clarinet confessed in blue. The violin replayed the true. The upright bass kept pacing near, like footsteps of what once was dear.
I saw her face in amber glow. The jukebox hummed what I should know, that whiskey soothes but cannot mend. It plays the start but not the end.
A bottle keeps its secrets till the strings decide to weep,
and every note of sorrow is a debt too strong to keep.
Whiskey regret in the neon light. Pour me a measure of wrong and right. The violin sigh, the pedal steel moans. Whiskey regret is all I own. I staggered through the ballroom haze,
Where airy thongs lit golden maze.
a woman smiled with painted lips, but strings recalled the love I missed.
I lifted glass but lowered eyes.
The trumpet laughed at all my lies.
The harp grew faint, the choir turned low, as whiskey taught me what I know.
Now dawn has drawn its curtains wide.
The violins no longer hide.
A glass is empty, but still it sings of promises and broken rings.
The steel bends down, the bass walks slow,
and whiskey whispers what I know,
that every sip's a vow uncared,
and every night a dream I left. If heaven keeps a tavern, may it pour me once again,
but trade the whiskey sorrow for the mercy of a friend.
whiskey regret in the neon light. Pour me a measure of wrong and right. The violin sigh, the pedal steel moans. Whiskey regret is all I own. Whiskey regret in the neon light. Pour me a measure of wrong and right. The violin sigh, the pedal steel moans. Whiskey regret is all I own. The telephone rang soft at night.
the violins tuned up in time. I heard her voice through static gray, a pedal steel smooth miles away.
She said, "My son, I miss you so." The clarinet was warm and low. The choir hummed a prayer of care. Her love was waiting on the air.
The rama called like raindrops sweet. The upright bass kept steady beat. She asked if I had eaten well, if city nights were kind to tell.
Her words like roses on a string. The heart composed what truth can bring. The muted trumpet bowed its head. For every yes I softly said.
Distance is an orchestra that telephone rewinds, but mother's love is louder than the miles we leave behind. Mama's voice on the line, soft and true. Every word a hymn pulling me through. Though the city lights are cold and fine, I am warm with Mama's voice on the line. She asked about the songs I play, if folks still listen night and day. The violas brush the silence near. Her laughter kept my sorrow clear.
I told her I was doing fine, but strings betrayed the hidden side. For every note of love I missed was carried in her voice's twist.
The line grew faint, the dawn was near. The trumpet sighed a gentle tear. She said, "Remember who you are. The porch light still will guide you far."
The choir rose with sweet amen. The steel bent mercy once again. And though the line fell silent soon, her love stayed humming like a tune.
If heaven has a phone someday, I'll dial her voice in every way.
Mama's voice on the line, soft and true. Every word a hymn pulling me through.
Though the city lights are cold
The chandeliers are fading like old stars in a jar. The violins are softer than the whispers at the bar. You hold my hand so tightly like the night won't let it go, while pedal steel is bending every memory we know.
The choir hums forgiveness for the chances that we missed, and clarinet recalls the sweetness of our very first kiss. The rarefied is raindrops on the parquet's gentle floor. A brush snare taps the rhythm as we sway just once more.
The trumpet bows politely as the band begins to tire. The upright bass keeps walking through the embers of desire. We turn in little circles where the neon paints our shoes, and Venus weave a curtain for the secrets lovers lose. The bartender is polishing the glass he's seen before, while harp strings write a blessing for the love we still adore.
The jukebox hums a gospel with a voice both sad and kind, and every note reminds me of the love I leave behind.
The night is just a curtain pulled across the tender stage, but every waltz can hold us through the turning of the page. The last dance before the lights go down in a country politan gown. Strings will rise, steel will sigh, we'll say violins confess the things our voices can't explain. The Rama composes hymns of joy and hymns of pain. The clarinet is faithful to the lines we used to sing, and muted trumpet softens every sorrow memory brings. The choir lifts a promise in a single amen low, and pedal steel bends mercy where the neon chooses glow.
I kiss you as the curtains fall, the chandeliers grow dim, and every note of love remains within the final hymn.
If heaven holds a ballroom past the gates of gold renown, then angels play the last dance when the lights go down. The last dance before the lights go down in a country politan crown. Strings will rise, steel will sigh, we'll say love still spins without a sound, even after lights go down. We met beneath a harvest moon, the violins were bright, the clarinet sang promises, the steel bent into night. Your hand was warm, your eyes were deep, the choir hummed along, but muted trumpet whispered that the melody was wrong.
The rowl of fall like silver rain fell softly on the floor, while a bright bass kept walking through a shadow at the door. The harp confessed the secret of the trouble we had sown, and violets tied a ribbon round a love I shouldn't own.
The jukebox played our fortune in a countrypolitan key. A neon crown of sorrow fell politely over me. The brush snare tapped a question that the silence wouldn't say, while trumpet raised a warning in a muted kind of way.
The strings were sweet seduction, the steel a velvet sigh, but underneath the beauty was a broken lullaby. For love can be a candle with a flame both bright and cruel, and even under right moons wrong hearts can bend the rule.
If destiny's a dancer, then it sometimes steps awry, and
countrypolitan sorrow is the waltz that answers why.
wrong moon waltz in a silver gown, every step up, every step down. Though the night was ours, the truth was near. The right moon shone, but the wrong heart's here.
We laughed through muted trumpets, we kissed through violins. The Joliffa made lanterns out of all our secret sins.
The clarinet confessed the truth the choir tried to hide, that every moonlit blessing was a prayer that we denied.
The upright bass kept walking through a street we shouldn't take,
and pedal steel bent mercy for a love we couldn't make.
Yet in the glow of starlight, when the strings began to run,
I thought the night forgiving as I gazed into your eyes. If heaven counts the dances of the hearts that chose too late,
then let it weigh a wrong moon waltz and open mercy's gate.
wrong moon waltz in a silver gown, every step up, every step down. Though the night was ours, the truth was near. The right moon shone, but the wrong heart's here. Your silver hair is shining in the lamplight by the bed. The violins are gentle like the vows that we once said. The clarinet is laughter in a softer minor key, while pedal steel recalls the farm and all we used to be.
choir hums forgiveness for the tempers we have known, and olive fruit makes prisms of the love we've always shown.
The upright bass walks slowly, but it never leaves behind the years that made us golden in the autumn of our time.
The muted trumpet blesses every wrinkle on your hand.
The harp draws little curtains on the life that we had planned. We rocked the chairs together through the storms and through the rain, and Viola stitched our sorrows into quilts of joy again. The jukebox of our memories still plays in silver tones, a country part, an anthem written deep into our bones. And though the night grows quiet, the symphony is true, for golden years are brighter when they shine with love and you. A photograph is paper, but a marriage lives in song, and every note we cherished keeps on playing all along. Golden years with silver hair, love still dances everywhere.
Strings and steel, a gentle rhyme. Golden years are a song in time.
The violins recall the children and the Sundays in the pew. The clarinet, the lullabies that only mothers knew. The rye whistle is footsteps in the kitchen late at night. The trumpet bows in reverence to our candle's steady light.
The bass walks through the parlor where our stories still are told, and pedal steel keeps sighing like a ribbon made of gold.
The choir lifts the chorus of a love both proud and true, and every single harmony is written just for you. If heaven takes its tally for the vows that we have kept, then golden years will crown us in the love that never slept. Golden years with silver hair, love still dances everywhere.
Strings and steel, a gentle rhyme. Golden years are a song in time.
The violins fade softly, the harp lays down its part, and golden years keep shining in the music of our heart. The raindrops tapped a lullaby upon the window glass. The violins repeated every moment we let pass. The clarinet was gentle like your whisper in my ear, while pedal steel bent mercy through the silence of our fear. The choir hummed a covenant that thunder dared not break, and while the broom made halos in the puddles rain would make, the upright bass walked slowly, keeping faith in every chord, and muted trumpet blessed us with the patience of the Lord.
The rain was not an ending, but a covenant begun. A harp drew out the silver of the promise still to come. Your hand was warm and steady, your smile a summer flame, and violas wrote a signature upon the window pane.
The jukebox at the diner hummed a ballad sweet and low, while violins kept telling me the things I had to know. For love is not tomorrow, but the promise we can keep in every drop of rainfall and in every dream we sleep. The storm may ride in thunder, but the strings rewrite in peace. A promise whispered softly that tomorrow won't release. Promise in the rain, steady and true. Every drop says I love you. Though the skies are gray with pain, our love is promise in the rain. The clarinet remembers how your laughter kissed the night. The dry record recalls the way your eyes held candlelight. The trumpet bows politely, the choir lifts the vow that rain cannot erase the truth we still remember now.
The bass walks through the morning when the storm is finally gone, and pedal steel sighs gently that the love is moving on. But even in the sunshine, when the skies are blue and plain, I'll hear the whispered echo of our promise in the rain. If heaven writes its covenant in silver drops of time, then let the angels sign it with the strings and steel divine. Promise in the rain, steady and true. Every drop says I love you. Though the skies are gray with pain, our love is promise in the rain. The violins fall quiet, the harp lays down refrain,
but love still keeps its promise in the platform echoed footsteps. The violins were low. The clarinet was trembling like a love that had to go. The trumpet played a warning. The bass walked steady time, while pedal steel bent sorrow into country Politan rhyme. The choir hummed forgiveness for the things we couldn't say, and Drellefern made lanterns of the raindrops on the way. Your hand was warm but shaking as the whistle cut the air, and harp strings wrote our names in silver light of prayer. The conductor called for boarding. The violets rose in song. The brushed snare tapped politely as the train rolled slow along. The jukebox in the station played our ballad one last time, and violins repeated every memory of mine. You kissed me through the window with a tear upon your face, and clarinet drew sorrow in a long and aching phrase. The train began its moving with a thunder soft and slow, and pedal steel said farewell in a voice as sweet as woe. The tracks are long confessions where the strings refuse to hide. They carry every sorrow that the platform can't provide. Platform goodbye, train rolling on. Our love's refrain is almost gone. The choir sighs, the violins cry, as I whisper our last goodbye. If ever who recalls the way you laughed in summer light, the muted trumpet softens with the mercy of the night. The harp repeats the blessings of a vow we couldn't keep, while bass walks through the shadows where the empty benches sleep. The station lights grow smaller as the violins grow still. The pedal steel sighs mercy where the rain is falling chill. And though the train has taken you beyond my fragile view, the country Politan orchestra will keep me close to you. If heaven has a station where the angels board someday, then every lover's platform will be joined in endless stay. Final platform goodbye, train rolling on. But in my heart, you're never gone. Strings will rise whistle fades in distance, the night grows softly true, but every chord of music still plays me back to you.